Yo, so Bino just went on another rant about Chrisean Rock, and this time he's saying Junior isn't even safe with her. Like he's really out here painting a whole picture of what went down behind closed doors, and honestly, the stories he's telling got people's jaws on the floor. But wait, it gets wilder because now Hazel-E is jumping in with her own receipts and she's not holding back either. The whole situation is getting messier by the day, and everybody's picking sides like this is some kind of team sport. Let me break down everything that's been happening because there's a lot to unpack here. So, first off, Bino's been on this mission lately where he's just spilling everything about his time with Chrisean, and one story in particular had people completely stunned. He said there was this time when Junior literally fell off the bed, right? And instead of rushing over to check on him like any normal person would, Chrisean allegedly just stood there and said the baby was fine. According to Bino, she actually said something like, "He's strong," and basically told him not to worry about it. Now hold up, because when I heard that, I had to rewind the video. A baby falls off the bed and your reaction is, "He's strong?" People in the comments were going absolutely crazy because that's not the response anyone expected. Bino said he had to literally walk out of the hotel room because he was so heated about the whole thing. And honestly, can you blame him? We're talking about an infant here. But here's where things get complicated. A lot of people are side-eyeing Bino too, because let's be real, this is the same dude who was in that hotel room in Vegas when everything went completely left. Y'all remember that situation, right? The one where Vegas police and CPS literally had to show up because of what was happening on that live stream? For those who don't know or forgot, there was this whole incident where they were streaming from a hotel suite, and viewers could see all kinds of wild stuff in the background. We're talking alcohol bottles everywhere, what looked like nitrous oxide tanks, smoke filling up the room, and the worst part? Two babies were right there in the middle of all that chaos. The police report said the whole room smelled like smoke and looked like somebody had been partying way too hard. And since the reservation was under Bino's name, he caught a $1,000 fine for the whole mess. So when he starts pointing fingers at Chrisean about child safety, some folks are like, "Hold up, weren't you right there too?" But Bono's not backing down from his story. He keeps saying that what he witnessed during their relationship showed him that Chrisean needs serious help. In one interview, he straight up said she needs to get Junior proper therapy and actually be a mom. He said everybody around her wants to act like nothing's wrong, but somebody needs to speak up about what's really happening. The thing that really got him heated was that he claims he helped her get Junior back from her sister, and now he's saying the baby was probably better off where he was. That's a heavy statement to make, especially coming from someone who was supposedly trying to help build a family with her at one point. And the way Bino tells it, this wasn't just one isolated incident. He's been painting this picture of ongoing issues that he witnessed firsthand. He said staying in that situation was messing with his mental health so bad that he had to remove himself completely. According to him, the final straw was when Chrisean refused to remove that blue face tattoo from her face. He said that was the moment he knew things were never going to work. Now, while all this drama is unfolding, Hazel-E decided to enter the chat with her own perspective. And if you know anything about Hazel-E, you know she doesn't bite her tongue for anybody. She's been backing up some of what Bino's saying, adding that she's heard similar stories from other people who've been around Chrisean and Junior. Hazel-E went on social media talking about how she's been concerned about Junior for a minute now. She mentioned seeing videos and hearing stories that made her uncomfortable, and she's calling for somebody to step in and make sure that baby is actually okay. She's not just throwing shots for entertainment either. She seems genuinely worried about the situation. What's crazy is that Hazel-E and Chrisean have their own complicated history, so some people think she's just using this situation to get back at her. But Hazel-E is saying this isn't about beef or drama. It's about a child's well-being. She posted something like, "Y'all can hate me all you want, but somebody needs to speak up for that baby because he can't speak for himself." The internet is completely divided on this whole situation. You've got one group saying Bino and Hazel-E are just bitter and trying to make Chrisean look bad. They're pointing out that neither of them are exactly Parent of the Year material themselves, so who are they to judge? Plus, people are saying if things were really that bad, why didn't Bino do something about it when he was actually there? Then you've got another group saying that just because the messengers aren't perfect doesn't mean the message is wrong. They're arguing that If multiple people are saying the same things about how Junior is being treated, maybe there's some truth to it. And when it comes to child safety, they're saying it's better to speak up than stay quiet. What makes this whole thing more complicated is that we're dealing with people who live their entire lives on social media. Every argument, every moment, every situation gets broadcast for the world to see. So it's hard to know what's real concern and what's just content for the timeline. But when you're talking about a baby's safety, that line between entertainment and real life gets real blurry real quick. Chrisean, for her part, has been responding to all this criticism in her own way. She's been posting videos of Junior looking happy and healthy, showing him playing and laughing. She's basically trying to show everyone that despite what people are saying, her son is doing just fine. She posted something recently saying people need to mind their business and stop trying to tell her how to raise her child. But even those posts are causing controversy. People are analyzing every little detail, looking at how she's holding him, what's in the background, how the baby looks. It's like everything she does is under a microscope now, and no matter what she posts, somebody's got something negative to say about it. The sad part about all this is that there's a baby at the center of the storm who didn't ask for any of this. Junior's not even old enough to understand what's happening, but his whole life is being debated by strangers on the internet. People are making judgments about his safety, his future, his well-being, all based on snippets and stories from people who might have their own agendas. And let's keep it real. We've seen this play out before with other celebrity kids. The public scrutiny, the constant judgment, the way every little thing becomes a huge controversy. It rarely ends well for the children involved, who grow up with their most vulnerable moments plastered all over social media. What's also concerning is how this whole situation reflects bigger issues in the community about parenting, mental health, and support systems. When you've got young parents who are dealing with their own trauma and issues trying to raise kids while living in the public eye, things can get real complicated real fast. And instead of getting the help and support they need, they often just get judgment and criticism. Bino mentioned that Chrisean needs therapy and support to be a better mom, and honestly, that might be the most reasonable thing anyone said in this whole mess, because at the end of the day, pointing fingers and arguing on social media isn't going to help Junior. What would help is making sure his mom has the resources and support she needs to give him the best life possible. But the way this is playing out, it seems like everyone's more interested in the drama than the actual solution. People are picking teams, taking sides, making TikToks and YouTube videos breaking down every detail. Meanwhile, there's still a baby who needs stability, safety, and love, not to be the subject of internet debates. The timing of all this is interesting too, because it's all coming out after Bino and Chrisean's relationship ended. Some people are wondering why Bino didn't speak up more when he was actually there. If things were really that concerning, why wait until after the breakup to start telling these stories? Is this about genuine concern, or is it about getting back at an ex? Those are questions only Bino can answer, but he maintains that he tried to help when he was there and eventually had to leave for his own mental health. He said being in that situation was dragging him down and he couldn't keep putting himself through it. Which, fair enough, but it does raise questions about what happens to Junior now that another person who could have been a positive influence has walked away. Hazel-E, meanwhile, is using the situation to call for more accountability in general. She's saying that people need to stop enabling bad behavior just because someone is famous or entertaining. She posted something about how the culture needs to do better about protecting children, even when their parents are messy or problematic. And you know what? She might have a point there. How many times have we seen situations where everyone could see something was wrong, but nobody wanted to be the one to say something? How many kids have suffered because adults around them were more concerned about minding their business than speaking up? At the same time, there's something to be said about the way these conversations happen in public. Putting all this on social media turns a serious situation into entertainment, and that can't be good for anyone involved, especially not Junior. If people are really concerned, shouldn't these conversations be happening with social workers, therapists, and family members instead of on Instagram Live? But that's the world we live in now. Everything happens in public. Every dispute gets aired out for everyone to see, and every concern becomes content. It's messy, it's complicated, And honestly, it's kind of sad when you think about the real human beings at the center of all this noise. As this situation continues to develop, more people are probably going to come forward with their own stories and opinions. We might hear from other exes, friends, family members, all adding their own perspective to the mix. And through it all, Junior's just going to keep growing up, hopefully surrounded by people who genuinely care about his well-being and not just the drama surrounding his parents. The question now is what happens next? Will all this public pressure lead to any actual changes in Junior's situation? Will Chrisean get the support she needs to be the best mom she can be? Will people like Bino and Hazel-E follow through on their concern with actual action? Or is this just talk? Only time will tell. But one thing's for sure. This situation has started a bigger conversation about parenting, accountability, and what we as a community owe to children who can't protect themselves. And maybe, just maybe, something good can come from all this mess if it leads to better support systems and more people willing to speak up when they see something wrong. So what do y'all think about this whole situation? Do you believe what Bino's saying about what he witnessed? Is Hazel-E right to speak up? Or is she just stirring the pot? And most importantly, what do you think needs to happen to make sure Junior is safe and taken care of? Because at the end of the day, that's what really matters here. Not the drama, not the tea, but making sure that baby has everything he needs to grow up healthy and happy. Let me know in the comments, but keep it respectful. This is a sensitive situation involving a child, and while we can discuss what's being said publicly, we need to remember there's a real baby at the center of all this who deserves better than being gossip fodder. Anyway, I'll keep y'all updated as more information comes out, but until then, let's just hope everyone involved gets the help and support they need. Peace.